Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's all fantastic. I realize that we haven't talked lately about the situation. We're going to call it the situation. Last year we did quite a few videos talking about the situation and how it was here versus where it was where you are. And I wanted to just kind of follow up on some of that and ask some questions. West Virginia, we are following the CDC's guidelines, which states that vaccinated persons no longer have to wear face coverings, either indoor or outdoor. And then the current plan, at least, is June 20th, we will drop all face covering requirements. That means that there are some weird situations. For instance, Walmart no longer requires face coverings. But that's not necessarily in line with the state's rules, because if you're not vaccinated, you're supposed to be wearing a face covering, but nobody's checking, right? And so right now, as of today, certain places still require it. Doctors' offices that I've been to in the past couple of weeks still say you have to have a face covering regardless of where you're at. Most restaurants ask that you have one when you enter the restaurant. And I'm curious to know, have any of you gone out without face coverings? And I'm going to tell you that I have. I have several times now. For one, I went outside a lot without a face covering to watch my child play softball. Basically, none of the parents that I saw there wore face coverings. Granted, we're outdoors and most of us are pretty far apart, but it was still, kind of okay, right? It felt a little bit okay. And I have since been in a few places now without my mask on. And it feels funny, right? Because I feel like I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing. But it also feels okay. And my choice was because I am fully vaccinated and I'm currently not feeling ill. Feeling ill. And while there can be an argument that says if we all wear face masks, we're all protected, I don't want to do that forever, right? But going forward, I do see myself wearing a face mask if I'm in public or if I'm around other people when I don't feel good. I fully see myself, taking that precaution for other people's health, because I feel like that's kind of a good thing to do as a good person, and I'd like to think that I'm a goodish person. But if I'm feeling okay and I am vaccinated, the government says that's fine, right? And I think it is. I think I'm not putting anybody at risk other than myself because, obviously if I'm not wearing a face covering, I'm more susceptible to whatever's out there. But that's kind of not the point of the face coverings in the first place. The face coverings are to protect everybody else from you, right? So currently I don't feel like I need to protect anybody from myself because I don't feel like I have any communicable diseases. But if I did feel like I did, I think I'd put it on. And so that's what I'm curious about. I'm curious to know if you, as an adult who gets to make your own decisions, once this whole thing is gone, once we all decide that it's okay to go back into public as and be, quote, normal, do you see yourself wearing a mask? Do you see yourself distancing more when you're ill? Like, do you think that this last year is going to modify your behavior in the future when you yourself aren't feeling well? Because I know I've been in quite a few public places with people who are sick and should not be in public places, who are then transmitting their diseases to other people. I've seen it in the workplace, I've seen it in schools, I've seen it in restaurants, I've seen it all over the place, and it's pretty disgusting, and I always thought it was. And I've always been the kind of person that if I'm not feeling good, I'm staying home. But for the last 12-ish years, I've had a job that affords me a ludicrous amount of time off, which means I can take those days off, and it doesn't affect me in any way, shape, or form. It just, protects my coworkers. So has this last year modified your personal behavior going forward? Are you going to take more time off when you're not feeling well? Are you going to wear a mask and protect the other people around you when you're not feeling well? And it's okay to be honest. Like if you say no, it's too much of a bother. Okay, that's fine. I'm genuinely curious to have an open discussion about it, because I feel like there's too many people saying that if you don't, you're a monster, and I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all. I think that there are a whole bunch of factors that go into transmitting diseases or viruses or bacteria, and I think that there's a lot of, or there should be room for personal choice in all of that. So let me know. Are you going to wear a mask after this is over? Are you going to distance yourself more from others when you're not feeling well? And have you gone out without a mask on recently? I'd like to hear from you. Put it in the comments. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, and being amazing friends with wonderful people. I really appreciate you. If you aren't subscribed, please do so. I'll see you tomorrow. Today's word you should notice sounds smart is fungible. It's an adjective meaning freely exchangeable for another of like nature, interchangeable. Stella was incensed to find that not all Cartier watches are fungible. Fungible, F-U-N-G-I-B-L-E. Man, there's been a whole lot of talk about non-fungible tokens lately, and honestly, the NFT market is the first time I've heard the word fungible. Didn't know that existed. I thought it had something to do with fungus.